Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. Today we'll see the last variance of material variance. Material variance, we have seen material price, material cost, material usage, material mix. Now the last one is material yield variance. Material yield variance is sub-variance of material usage variance. If you have seen the first class of material variance class, so then you might have seen a drawn a table, and according to that under material usage variance this comes, this one material mix and also material yield, both are sub variance of the material usage variance. Now how do we calculate this material yield variance? Very simple. Before going to the problem, let me remind you all, please check out the playlist. There are many subjects already prepared by me. It will be useful for you. Use it and don't forget to forward these videos. Now coming to the material yield variance, very simple, 5 minutes you can understand. Only simple formula is there for material variance, material yield variance. Material yield variance formula is here, standard rate, SR, standard rate into actual yield minus standard yield. That's all. Standard rate into actual yield minus standard yield. What is yield? Means output, exactly output. Most of the time actual yield will be given separately in the problem. Standard yield is nothing but the revised yield only, revised output. Now through a problem you will understand. Anyway, remember SR into actual yield minus standard yield. What is SR? Standard rate. Standard rate, there is another formula. Standard rate, how do you get is standard cost of standard mix by net standard output. Standard cost of standard mix by net standard output. That's all. This formula, if you are able to remember, it's very simple, material yield variance. Now through a problem we can understand. Now here is the problem. From the following information, calculate material yield variance. Simple data is given. Apart from this, what is given? There is a standard loss of 10%. There is a standard loss of 10%. And actual yield is 125 units. Now this material yield variance need not to calculate separately for material A and B. Together we can work out it. Now remember first, what is this quantity? Quantity is here 150. Standard quantity. Actual quantity, this is also 150. Okay. Now there is a standard loss of 10%. Standard loss of 10% means it comes to standard loss 150 minus 10%. Solution, standard loss. So standard quantity is 150. Loss of 10% they are saying, minus 10%. 10% on 150, 15 rupees. It means 135 is the revised standard quantity. Okay, this is nothing but you can say it as a standard yield also. Actual yield is given here. One is standard loss is decreasing by 10% and another side actual yield is 125 units. Now we'll apply the formula. First thing is that you can take the same formula, MYV is equal to SR into, first you write the formula same, assume that continuation of this, MYV is equal to standard rate into actual yield minus standard yield, okay. And just below that we are writing how to calculate the standard rate. Standard rate is equal to standard cost of standard mix by net standard output. What is this standard cost of standard output? SR is equal to standard cost of standard mix, means 80 into 5 plus 70 into 9. So this is standard cost of standard mix divided by net standard output. Standard output is 150. Net means this one after deduction. So this is net standard output. So net standard output is 135. you do the calculations, we'll get standard rate. So how do we get standard rate? 80 into 50, 80 into 5, 400, 70 into 9, 630 plus 400, it is 1030. 1030 divided by 135, divided by 135, it is 7.63. 7.63. This is standard rate. Once if you get the standard rate, then apply it in the material yield variance. Material yield variance, MYV. Yield variance is equal to standard rate. Standard rate is 7.63 into actual yield. Actual yield is already given 125 minus standard yield. Standard yield is after revise 135. So this is 7.63 into 10. This is 10 na? 10 into means 76.3. Am I right? Yeah, 76.3, but this is unfavorable. Unfavorable. This is material yield variance. Am I clear? Simple problem, but concept you have to understand. Take a screenshot, then after that I'll give you explanation once again. Dear students, only this problem understand. You can work out any problem. Now what you have to understand is what is material yield variance. Material yield variance formula is standard rate into actual yield minus standard yield. Actually you can say this material yield variance means nothing but the difference between the actual yield and standard yield. Sometimes actual yield may be more and sometimes actual standard yield may be more. It can be anything happens. Yield means nothing but the output, actual output and standard output. Generally for standard output there will be something like adjustment of, as it is given 10% loss. Okay, we have decreased it. We have decreased. Now net standard output is this one. If you see the formula, simple, standard rate into actual yield minus standard yield. How do you get standard rate? Standard cost of standard mix. Standard cost of standard mix means 80 into 5 plus 70 into 9. Okay. So this divided by net standard output. Net standard output is this one, 135. So you got 7.63. Once if you get it, apply it in the formula. Material yield variance equal to standard rate. Standard rate is 7.63 into actual yield. Actual yield is already given 125 minus standard yield is standard yield. Already you have calculated 135, you got it. 125 minus 135. If you have done the calculations, you got 76.3. This is minus, means unfavorable balance. That's it. I don't think one more problem is required for calculation of standard yield. Now next class I want to start the labor variance. Okay, direct labor variance. This is also interesting. First of all, be thorough in this direct material variance. 5 variances. All the variances be thorough. Understand it. Note down the formulas in one page. Then remember by heart these formulas. Understand it, how we are calculating it. 5 formulas. Material price, material mix, material usage and material variance, okay, and material yield. All this, material price, material cost, material usage, material yield, material mix variance. So 5 variances you must be thorough. Then only we will go for the next, that is labor variance, direct labor variance. Stay connected, check out the playlist, don't forget to forward these videos. Do the favor to the other students also. Stay connected and practice well. Good luck.